Hi, my name is Barb Keeling, and I'm going to show you how to use your Plush Punch hand punch. The Plush Punch is a hand punch needle that has a easy to hold on little handle, and you just push the loops into the fabric. It also has a triangular handle, so it makes it very comfortable to hold on to it too. What I do, since there is a kind of a top and a bottom to the needle itself, I put three little dots or a little red mark here, because when this is inside the fabric you can't tell which ends up. So this way, if you have the little dots there, you can tell which is the top of your needle. Here at the end part here, there's a sharp needle and a little stopper deal here. This way it gives you the length of your stitch. When you push your needle into the fabric, it will stop at that little stopper, and that will be the size of the loop. If you want to take the stopper all the way off, you can make really long loops and trim it and do all kinds of fun things too. But I keep my stopper at a special size. There are different things that I like the best. So this one gives kind of a long loop because I've cut it so it's a little bit shorter. That way the stitch length is a little longer from the end to the little stopper upper part. So anyway, you're going to thread the needle. You're going to run the thread. I'm trying to get colors here that you guys can see. This is a polyester, actually it's an electric punch needle thread. It's kind of neat. It's kind of like pearl cotton #8. It's kind of that category, around 3 threads of sewing threads, or 2 depending on the threads, or a buttonhole twist. The little hand punch doesn't really care what you use. As long as it flows, it goes. That's really all that matters. So once you get it down through there, if you can pull it out really easily and it doesn't hang up, then you know you're good to go. So now let me just show the threading here. There is a wire threader that comes with your Plush Punch, and you will not be able to see it very well. You can see it kind of glittering in the screen there. Now there is a little black dot at the end of the threader, and that really has absolutely no function whatsoever, except if you drop your wire threader on the floor in your carpet, you will be able to find the wire. Otherwise you wouldn't, because you'll be able to see the little black dot. So don't remove that, because it's a big helper upper here. Now to do the actual threading, you start at the pointy part of the needle, and you're going to run the threader all the way through the hand punch, and then it'll come out here at the end. I'm going to do that. You may have a little bit of a hard time seeing that, but we'll just give it a shot anyway. Okay, I pushed the threader inside the needle, and now I'm just going to push it, and hello, I think you can see that wire threader coming out the end. Then you take your thread and just stick it inside the wire. The wire, by the way, has a little twisty part at the end. Don't untwist it, because what that twisty part does is hold on to the thread, so when you put it in the wire that it doesn't keep falling out of the threader. Okay, ready, steady, go. See the little black dot here? Now just give that little dot a pull, and what's going to happen is, hello, there comes the thread right out the hollow needle. Now take the thread out of the threader. Don't just jerk it out, because you're going to pop your needle threader that way. Just kind of release it back and then lift it out. Now we're ready also to thread the eye. If y'all don't thread the eye, there will be no stitches. It's just like on your sewing machine. If you thread the whole deal and you don't put the thread through the eye in your sewing machine, when you go to sew, there won't be any stitches. Same way with your Plush Punch needle. You want to remember to also thread the eye, and that's a second step. You've now taken the thread out of the threader. The thread is all the way through this little hollow handle and all the way through the hollow of the needle, but it is not through the eye. Now, there's a beveled end to the thread, to the needle where the thread will be coming out. So that's that little pointy flat end. That's the side the thread's coming out at the middle in the meantime. Now you're going to take your needle threader and you're going to go to the top of that, and you're going to run that threader through the eye so that the threader is pointing the same direction that this thread is sticking out. Here, let me get my hand out of the way. You can see probably better. And then just open up the needle threader. Just stick your fingers in between here. Grab a hold of that thread. Stick it inside the threader. Just pull it back out. And then, ready, steady, go. Pull on the needle threader. That is going to pull the thread through the eye. So that's the whole deal there. Now once again, don't just haul this thread out of here. Release it so it's out of that little twisty part, and then take your needle threader, put it down where you have some clue where it is. So, and now we're all threaded. So the thread is going all the way through that hollow needle, and it's going also out the eye. So 2 steps. Needle threader through the hollow needle and the handle, grab the thread, pull it back down through, then take the thread out of the threader, take the threader, go through the rounded side, through the hole, down to the bottom, grab the thread and pull it back out. And now the thread is through the handle, through the hollow, and through the eye. Now you're ready to stitch. So that stitching is done from the back of your project. So if you have a project that fabric, for instance, that might have a front and a back, put your iron-on transfer on the back side, because that's the side that you're going to do your stitching. So do that. You want to remember the stitching side becomes the back, and it's flat stitches there. What the punch needle does is make a whole bunch of little bitty loops. That is the texture that makes up your project. Okay, ready, steady, go. Here's my hoop. Now the most importantest part here is getting your fabric in the hoop tight enough. Now you want to just pull like a son of a gun, go all the way around your hoop. You can put your fabric on the inner hoop, put the outer hoop around it, and then you're going to start cranking down. There's a little cranky uppy thingy here, just a little turny bolty thing here. Yeah, I love TikTok, don't you love it? Anyway, just turn this little guy here until it is really tight. Now I always go all the way around my piece and pull and pull and pull and pull, and then thump it. If this sounds like a drum head, you're good to go. If it goes boom, 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 you know that it's not good to go. This is the most important part. If you don't get that fabric tight enough in the hoop, you will not be able to stitch properly, or even sometimes at all, because what you need is the fabric tight enough that the needle can pop through it and leave the little loopy parts on the other side. This would be the finished side over here. I don't really have a pattern here. I'm just kind of messing around here, so I can show you how this works. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little webcam and I'm going to just pull this down just a little bit so y'all can see a little bit better on the top of the hoop. And I'll show you the basics of the stitch, and it's really not complicated, but it is goof-upable. So anyway, if you've got little threadies sticking around here, I've just done a couple of little stitches there. Just cut any extra stuff out. This isn't going to jump out of the fabric. When you're all done, you're going to cover up the bat and seal it anyway, so don't worry. So now your needle needs to have that beveled side down against your fabric. So you're going to just push down into the fabric. I'm going to scoot up here a little bit for y'all to see better. Then I'm going to slide that along, and I'm going to push back down again. I'm going to slide the little pointy part on there and push back down. Slide and push and slide and push and slide and push and slide and push. Slide and push, slide and push. Pull it out, push it in. Pull it out, push it in. Don't lift the little needle off the fabric. Just let it drag its little pointy stuff right along on the fabric. So you're just sliding and punching. Now, meanwhile, the loops are filling in over here. I'm going to hold this up so you can see what I'm doing. Make sure that when you're holding on to your hand punch that you don't have the thread in your hand, so that the thread is caught in your hand. Make sure that the thread is over your hand and over your wrist. Otherwise you'll be hanging on to it and it will be unable to go anywhere. So, and you'll wonder what happened. Okay, now I'm going to hold this up and you should be able to see what's going on. Slide and punch and 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 slide and punch. Just skippy it along there and your loops are going to be filling in. Okay, now that's just a couple of rows, not much, and it's just beginning to form your stitching. Always when you look at it for the first time, you know, after you stitch a row, you're just dying to know what you did because it's underneath. And you're going to turn it around to look at it and you're going to go, oh my gosh, this looks awful. And it will. Mine looks awful too. One row will look all over the place. It'll look weird. It'll look spacey. You think, oh, this is never going to fill in. Well, yeah, it will. You just need to keep on trucking. So just keep working your areas. If you miss a little old spot, you're going to go right back over it. And you're just going to do it just right on top of your other stitches and fill it in. So that's the deal. Okay, one more time here. I'm going to hold this. Okay, I've got my little red mark on my needle so I know which end's up. Slide in, push down, slide in, push down, slide, push, slide, push. That's all there is to it. So, okay, incoming call. That sounds good.